Ok, buenos días a todos, bienvenidos a otro episodio de DividendosTv. Hoy es martes 6 de enero de 2026. Vamos a ver ahorita cómo abre la bolsa de valores. Vamos a ver si seguimos subiendo como estábamos ayer. A ver qué pasa. Todavía no tenemos ninguna noticias importantes, pero poco a poco van a ir llegando reportes que el mercado está esperando. Ok, antes de comenzar, si eres nuevo en el canal, por favor suscríbete, dale me gusta al video, compártelo, siempre recuerda, invierte tu dinero, compra la fábrica, no los productos. Recuerda que yo no soy ningún asesor financiero, todo lo que digo o hago en mi canal es con fines de entretenimiento. Insto a todos y a todas a que hagan su propia investigación antes de participar en algo que requiera tiempo o dinero. Ok, vamos a comenzar. Por lo menos esta vez Bitcoin se ha mantenido por arriba de los 90.000. Desde el 1 de enero. Ayer tocó 94.300. 94.400. Eso fue hoy.
From Las Vegas on our social media accounts over the course of the coming days and of course weeks as well. There's a live look at that opening bell podium as tourist capital is set to open the equity markets in what is the first full trading week of 2026. Our guests are bullish for this year.
Bell there on the New York Stock Exchange. Tortoise Capital ringing the bell. I guess it's an MLP that believes slow and steady wins the race. And then down on the NASDAQ, you've got Helus Pharma ringing the opening bell. Brought the whole family, which is always exciting. It's a milestone. You know, it's a bucket list. Have you ever run an opening or a closing bell?
I have not. I'm going to guess you have. I don't know. It feels right. Have you?
I have not, no. I've been on the podium, and I've rung the bell, but it wasn't for the open or the close. It was just like a photo op.
Would you bring the kids?
Absolutely.
Yeah. You gotta bring the whole family.
150%,
Yeah. I like that idea. Matt, I'm looking at some of the stocks that are moving here at the open. One of them is Vistra. Shares are up 3 1/3%. They're going to pay about $4 billion. With that, they're going to get 10 natural gas-fired power plants in the Northeast and Texas. idea, help power AI data centers. So we are still in this realm that if you make an AI announcement, congratulations, your shares rallying that.
All right, NVIDIA, speaking of an AI announcement, put forth a slate of new products, including tools designed specifically for autonomous vehicles. The CEO, Jensen Huang, joins Bloomberg at 1 p.m. Eastern. Wow, the godfather of AI. I wonder if he's going to wear his black leather jacket.
I mean, something will be wrong if he's not.
Yeah.
I like his alligator skin one. I hope he wears that.
Is it Tom Ford, I think? I'm not sure.
If it's Tom Ford, it's like $10,000. So
yeah,
good for him.
It is very expensive,
yeah.
but it costs less than one of his Blackwell chips.
Yeah,
now Vera Rubin, I'm sure.
Good point.
Joining us now is Principal Asset Management Chief Global Strategist Seema Shah. Seema, great to have you on.
Ok, hasta ahora todo bien. So, mañana creo que 1 hora y 15 minutos antes de que abra el mercado, entonces sale el reporte de ADP Employment. Ese va a ser bien importante. A las 10 de la mañana sale el Job Openings. Mañana 7 de enero. El jueves 8 sale 1 hora antes de que abra el mercado los Initial Jobless Claim, otro reporte de desempleo. Y entonces el viernes el US Employment Report y el Unemployment Rate. Se espera que suba a 4.7 el desempleo. Buenos días, Leggy. ¿Soy yo o escucho bastante bajo tu voz? ¿Se escucha? ¿La voz se escucha bajo? ¿Se escucha baja la voz o el audio? Buen día, Dan. Saludos. Escucho suavecito bajo. Ok, so ahí tengo el micrófono más cerca. Lo tengo en máximo volumen y casi no te escucho. Wow. What the hell? No sé, tendré que hablar más alto. Tal vez en la configuración del sonido se bajó el volumen del micrófono porque nunca escuchaba yo así. Estoy chequeando. No sé, honestamente, todo está normal. El mercado está súper raro. Aquí está el oro positivo hoy 3/4% y la plata casi en $80. 3,8% para la plata hoy. Wow. Déjame ver el fondo que yo tenía de plata. Es CLJY 34. Y lo vendí en 28.55. Diablo. Está todo súper lento. No hay volumen todavía. Ok, ok. ¿Qué trabajo ha pasado para llegar a los 6.945? Ese es el alto histórico. Ok, 6.915, 16. Let's go. A ver si hace algo nuevo esto hoy. Faltan 22 días y 4 horas para la próxima decisión de la Reserva Federal acerca del recorte de intereses, pero lo que más se espera es una pausa. Por aquí tenemos las declaraciones de... What the hell? Una parte de los fondos de Geomax. Esto... Hoy es el último día que se puede comprar y clasificar para el pago en dividendos. Ya mañana es la fecha límite, el X-Day, lo cual ya la compra no clasificaría para el pago. CHPY declaró 50 centavos. FIT declaró 26 centavos. FIBI declaró 21 centavos. GPTY declaró 29 centavos. LFGY 29 centavos. QDTY 17 centavos. RDTY 16 centavos. SDTY 13 centavos. SOTY 41 centavos. OTI 47 centavos. WiMAX Diablo 5 centavos. WiMAX 9 centavos. Yeah. Wow. Aquí está la declaración de los fondos de Curve. Hoy también es el último día para comprar y clasificar para esos dividendos. Mañana sería la fecha límite, día de pago el día 8. TSLP declaró 50 centavos. KGLD 30 centavos. KYLD 17 centavos. Hoy es el X-Day para estos fondos de Red Shares. NVII 15 centavos, TSII 27 centavos, MSII 4 centavos, COII 6 centavos, HOII 9 centavos, LLII 8 centavos, CWII 9 centavos, PLTI 8 centavos y WMTI 9 centavos. Este es el que más me gusta, el de Walmart. WMTI. Diablo, no hay ni 2 millones de dólares invertidos en este fondo. Tenemos la distribución de YBTC, declaró 20 centavos y Yes declaró 18 centavos.
They are the mother's milk of stock returns, and it's still going to come from technology in a very big way. And we're seeing muted job growth. We call that productivity. It's been muted since 2020. We're 5% below the 2020 jobs numbers, but earnings have soared, and that's been led by technology, and it's going to be continue to be led by technology. Sorry,
Nancy, a little bit of a left field question, but I was just looking at a headline from New York Times Deal Book that Kalshi, the predictive market site, has hit $100 billion in annualized trading volume. There's been so much happening with prediction markets. You're a traditional active manager. Is there ever a point where you think, maybe this is something I should offer clients, a predictive market trading strategy?
That is from left field, Danny. And I like it. It's a great question. Well, so we do adapt. I mean, we're not dinosaurs. We launched a thematic portfolio last year that's focused on what we think will be the next level of transformative technology. So think space, robotics, nuclear, quantum. And then we have materials in that portfolio and particularly the materials needed to drive those technologies. So we do adapt. I think predictive products for our clients, we'd rather hire someone else to do that, which we do from time to time. So we are announcing a new partnership in our mid-cap strategy with someone you know very well, and we will do that when it makes sense for our clients.
With whom?
B Squared.
B Squared. All right, interesting stuff. Listen, Nancy, we're going to keep you with us because we're thankful that we have more time with you. Talk about not only the outperformance of your 5 for 25, but your 6 for 26, the one new pick that you're adding. Nancy Tangler of Laffer Tangler is sticking with us, and we're waiting for President Trump to deliver remarks to the House Republicans. This is Bloomberg.
Oh boy. Ok, 6.927, llegamos ahí. Vamos bien por ahora. El oro cerca de 4.500. La plata ya pasó los $80. Diablo. Diciembre 28 fue que subió a 81.53. La plata 5% hoy. Okay, 6.929. Vamos bien por ahora.
But just talk us through exactly what they said at this event and what you think is behind the movement in the market today as far as, going in opposite directions.
It's fascinating, Sam. The first day of CES and two of the bigger high-profile names leading off the conference. Jensen Huang, Lisa Su, both talking about new products. Lisa Su unveiled the upcoming AI data center platform. She looked at their she introduced gave a first look at their Helio system. Here's her quote: "The world's best AI rack." So they're aiming to go head-to-head with NVIDIA in these products. The MI500 series data center GPUs. So that's the next generation. So a lot of good things. She said the next 5 years. Here's another quote from Lisa Su: 5 billion people, 5 billion will use AI daily. So that alludes to the bigger pie, right? Can AMD compete in that bigger pie? Well, Jensen Huang, as you know, their stock's higher today. He came out and started talking about the Rubin chip and the Vera Rubin and all the things that their new chips can do. Remember, we went from Hopper. We're waist deep right now in Blackwell. Jensen Huang's already talking about the next chip being Rubin. And what he talked about, ideal for agentic AI, advanced reasoning models, and a mixture of expert models, he called them. So the Rubin arrives when the demand for training and inference is going through the roof, he said, and they're coming in with a new product. So like I've said before many times, it seems like every time AMD comes out with a product that starts to compete with NVIDIA, NVIDIA comes out with their new product and increases their lead. So the stock action should say something today, but clearly two great presentations by two great leaders.
Got memory absolutely ripping this morning. I mean, if you take a look at shares in SanDisk, up a whopping 21% in trade right now. And I'm just seeing that there is this thinking that CES is pointing to more demand for the group. So when you talk about that pie, Kevin, you need somewhere to store the pie, and that's where these guys seem to be sort of stepping in. So we're seeing this rally back in action today. Western Digital also up 10%. It is a really nice day for some of those memory names off the back of Samsung, SK Hynix also talking about higher prices in Q1. But let's just switch to another story, of course, which continues to dominate the market, and that is what is going on in Venezuela in this situation. Obviously, we saw that risk on yesterday. We continue to see investors, seemingly looking past the geopolitical risk right now. Nice day for some of the oil majors, energy majors across global stocks, in fact. But also just talk to us what you're seeing as far as what's being carried out in the metals space, because I'm seeing gold continuing to catch a bid. Copper is also at a record this morning. Talk us through some of the price action this morning.
Yeah, so in terms of energy, it seems like every single level of energy is doing well. Not only the energy stocks, right, like Chevron, but it's the service providers in energy that might be, frankly, the first ones to go into Venezuela. President Trump talked about 18 months is all they would need to go in and set up new infrastructure for Venezuela. Then, when you start watching those names, who am I talking about? Like Baker Hughes, like Schlumberger, the SLB, the old Schlumberger. I think some of these names that will go in there and set up the infrastructure, very important. Then you mentioned the metals. Coming off a great but volatile end to 2025 based on just the overall assumption of risk, the CME Group, clearing firms, raising margin levels in a lot of these precious metals caused some volatility at the end of the trading year. They're back up now. I see gold on my, I think right here, let's see, gold up another 1%, $47 to $44.98 and change. So another solid day for the metals. I saw silver was up 3% pre-market. So I think this is just a continuation of what we saw at the end of 2025. Another big year for metals. Now we've got energy. Now we've got the all the headlines coming out of CES. And for those people with young or middle, young adult children.
A female astronomer, and she was one of the astronomers who looked through her telescopes for a very long, very smart.
Diablo, 18 meses para reparar la infraestructura en Venezuela. O sea, no suena como mucho. Qué locura. Bueno, el mercado aguantando hasta ahora. Se me fue la oportunidad ayer de haber comprado IYRI a 48, 47, posiblemente.
But even if it's successful, they don't win. I don't know what it is. There's something psychological, like you vote against. You can win by a lot. We won every swing state. We won the popular vote by millions. We won everything. But they say that when you win the presidency, you lose the midterm. So you're all brilliant people. Most of you are in this business longer than me. That makes me smarter than you. Because look where I am, right? No, it doesn't. But I wish you could explain to me what the hell's going on with the mind of the public, because we have the right policy. They don't. They have horrible policy. They do stick together. They're violent. They're vicious. They're vicious people, and they stick together like glue. They don't have a couple of the people that we have. People, not too many, really very few. And that's why I want to just say that before we go any further, I want to express our tremendous sorrow at the loss of a great member, great member, Congressman Doug LaMalfa, who passed away yesterday, as you probably have heard. And he was the leader of the Western Caucus, a fierce champion on California water issues. He was great on water. He wanted to release the water and scream at him. And a true defender of American children. He was a defender of everybody. And our hearts go out to his wife, Jill, and his entire family. He voted with me 100% of the time. And by the way, he wasn't a 3 o'clock in the morning person. Do you know what I mean by that? Where the speaker goes, sir, could you call up? Could you call? I said, what time is it, speaker? Sir, it's 3 in the morning. Could you make a couple of calls? How many? 9.
Leggy, ¿cuál pasaba a 48.30? No me diga. I was right yesterday. Ayer. Diablo. Sí, porque yo estaba cazando a ver si bajaba más ayer. O esto fue si ayer. Porque estaba pensando vender hasta cloth. Y le hubiese puesto ahí los casi $9,000.
Most of you are secure people. You're all laughing. The most of you are secure people. I had a couple say, look, I could have Trump call me all the time. I just have to break his ass a little bit. And he'll be calling. But I appreciate those. We actually had a little party. We opened up a beautiful section of the White House in the Rose Garden, and we had a party for all of those people that I never speak to and vote for me. And I spoke to Doug, but I didn't speak to him about, I've had a problem. And I was really saddened by his passing, and was thinking about not even doing the speech in his honor. But then I decided that I have to do it in his honor. I'll do it in his honor because he would have wanted it that way. He would have wanted it that way. He would have said, do that speech. Are you kidding me? Do the speech. Big guy. But he was a fantastic person. Man, that was a quick one. I don't know quite yet what happened, but boy, it's a tough one. He was just with us. He was our friend, all of us, every one of us. And I also want to send our best wishes to Congressman Jim Baird and his wife, who are recovering from a car accident. They're going to be okay, but they had a pretty bad accident. And we're praying that they get out of that hospital very quickly. He's going to be fine. She's going to be fine, but it was a bad accident. And I want to thank the man who has been central to so many of our triumphs. He really has been. He's the guy that would call me to make those calls all the time. He's always working. And he's a nice person. He's a very nice, he's a high quality person. But I want to tell you, he's a very tough cookie. I've seen both sides. Not often do I have to see the other side, because he's just, by nature, he's a very fine, religious. I like that. He's a religious person. I like that. I like religious people. It usually means they're more honest. Sometimes it doesn't happen that way. I've had some real religious ones that did numbers on me, and I said, I'm going to get them someday. They got me by surprise, but it's usually good, okay, right? And his name is Mike Johnson, Speaker Mike Johnson. He has my complete and total endorsement. Stand up, Speaker. So, you know, but it is true. A lot of times they'll say, I wish Mike were tougher. He's tough. He's tough as anybody in the room, actually. But it can't be tough when you have a majority of 3. And now, sadly, a little bit less than that. A little bit less than that, maybe. But you can't be Trump. You can't, I warned you. You know, you make 10 enemies, 20 enemies. That's the end of that, right? Everybody loves him. I would say there's one person he's given up on. I mean, I think he just gave up on this guy. He's so bad. He never votes for us. But no matter how good, he won't vote for us. There's a sickness there. You know, there's something wrong. You can have the greatest bill, the greatest for the country. Forget about for Republicans. Great, great, great for the country. I'm a no vote. We don't even bother calling him at 3 in the morning, do we? Huh? But I want to thank another guy who's as tough as they come, because he went through something that none of us have gone through. I went through a little shot, but I get that throbbing feeling every once in a while. But what he went through was incredible. And then Steve Scalise, he got hit hard. Where's Steve? Steve. He's a tough cookie. He was dead. I went to the hospital. His wife was crying so much. It was a mess. Oh, yeah, she loves you. That's the only thing I learned about Steve, that he has a wife who loves him. Because I've gone to hospitals where guys are in bad shape, and the wife couldn't care less. She's looking for the next guy. Who's the next guy down the pike? Who the hell is the next guy? He's died. I said, it's so bad. Oh, yeah. I had one where the dog died and the husband died at the same time. I said, it's so sad. Yes, I love this dog so much. She couldn't give it, and the guy left her a fortune. Can you imagine? He shouldn't have left her anything, but she was much more concerned. Oh, the dog was devastated. The husband, he was like an afterthought. Your wife loves you, Steve. She's a great wife. Another one who has a great wife, Jackie, is Tom Emmer, right? Don't look at you. You have a great wife, but you haven't been tested like these guys. You haven't. We don't want to test her, right? She's incredible. She's a strong, beautiful, great person. She's a great person. She actually liked me at the beginning when we were having little fights. We weren't even having fights. We just didn't know each other. We didn't know each other. And I heard he said something negative about me. He was sort of right about the subject, but you're not supposed to say ever, even though you're right. But Jackie was saying, I'm telling you, he's a great guy. He's good. He's going to be a great president, blah, blah, blah. She was fighting for me. And now I love this guy. He's great. Jackie's right about, she was right about both of us, I think, right? But Tom has been incredible. He's incredible at what he does. He's a great team player. Your conference chair, Lisa McLean, is so strong and powerful and beautiful. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you. Thank you. And I think their broadcast, you know, we said we don't care if the press comes or not. So when I say that, that means that they're broadcasting all this, and I'm letting my feelings out because it's true. I feel that way about so many people in the room. I could say it about many of the people in the room. Some I don't know as well, but many of the people in the room. They're incredible people. You're incredible what you're doing. We also have another one, Richard Hudson, Chairman, NRCC. Richard's always in there. Always with a smile. No matter what's happening, Richard. He always has a smile. He's just a positive guy, smart and positive. Thank you, Richard. Really appreciate it. You do a great job. Republican Policy Committee Chairman, Kevin Hearn. Kevin, where are you, Kevin? Thank you, Kevin. Thank you. Did a great job. Every one of you got to be proud of yourselves. and basically the entire House Republican conference. It's been really amazing what you've done. And we're going to give you some ammunition today. I said, I'd love to make a speech. Speaker asked me, would you make a speech? I said, sure. You think Biden would do that? Would you make a speech? What? First of all, people wouldn't ask him to make a speech because it never worked out well, right? Could never find the exits. You finish, look, stare here, stare there, stare here. You could jump off the front if you had to. No matter what he did, he got himself into trouble. So basically, they didn't ask him to, but if he did, it wouldn't be good. But it's good with me because, you know, we have so much ammunition. We have ammunition. The problem is the fake news. That's why I like being on. I'd much rather do live television than do non-live because, like, when they say, as an example in my speech, peacefully and patriotically to the Capitol, peacefully and patriotically. Do you know that the Unselect Committee didn't report it, that I said those words? Do you know that the news never reported the words walk or march peacefully and patriotically to the Capitol? Do you know they never reported it? It's a scandal. The Unselect Committee never reported that. They never reported that Nancy Pelosi was offered 10,000 soldiers. They're so good, soldiers, whatever you want. No, I don't want them. And the mayor. The mayors weren't running. She was more honorable about it. But Nancy got caught when her daughter did a documentary. She's a documentariist. And she has her mother saying, it's my fault. I should have taken the soldiers or something. I saw that in the documentary. I said, whoa, this was a major story.
It's going to be sitting down to ask really about the competition landscape. She was on stage yesterday with Greg Brockman, one of the co-founders of OpenAI. Of course, remember, AMD gave stock to OpenAI. OpenAI is using the chips of AMD to help build out its large language model. But her innovations when it comes to not just what's happening on the MI300, the MI400, she's...
Means that we're running Venezuela now. Are we going to end up with boots on the ground? And what about all this conversation about looking at other countries, Colombia, Mexico, Cuba, Greenland? I think there are going to be a lot of hard questions. And some of those questions are going to come from Republicans who are upset that they weren't consulted in advance. So I think tomorrow is going to be a very interesting day. I think the market's going to be very interested in what some of the answers coming out of the administration are for the longer term plan, because this really feels like it was kind of, you know, we got mission accomplished over the weekend, but what are the next steps? And they haven't been clearly outlined. So I think the market's going to be really interested in that.
Yeah, obviously the market's looking for a little bit more clarity on certainly the policy direction and, you know, what's going to happen next. But just getting back to you, Joe, and obviously what we're seeing in the markets today, the movement risk and what's catching a lot of attention with the headlines is CES. But you could say it's a tale of two corporates today between Nvidia and AMD, even though they came out with some, you know, fairly solid headlines around what they're doing, you know, with AMD and its new chip, Nvidia as well with Vera Rubin. I mean, what do you make of the performance here?
I think Nvidia is still showing that they're ahead of the game. You know, AMD comes out with their new products. They're you know, they're offering kind of their M1 1455 boosting, you know, 70% more transistors, and then Nvidia says, "Hold my beer. Here we go. Here's our Rubin AI server. It's going to go on sale in the second half of the year." So you know, it goes to show that for the most part, the other semiconductor companies in the AI space are still playing catch up. And yes, you know, Nvidia is not going to be able to hold the market share that they do for forever, but once somebody else kind of steps up.
6.933. Estamos bien cerca de los 6.945, que fue el alto histórico. Mañana o posiblemente hoy podría ser que lleguemos a esos niveles. Podría ser. no hay mucho de mi interés. Hasta ahora me metico. Si volviera a bajar como ayer, IYRI fuese una de las que tengo pensado comprar. Pero quiero que baje más. Lo más barato posible. Ok, pues nada, entonces voy a dejar el video aquí y seguimos hablando si algo en el WhatsApp o el Discord. Así que nada, gracias a todos los que se conectaron. El que sea nuevo en el canal, que se suscriba, denle me gusta al video, compártanos. Siempre recuerden, inviertan su dinero, compren la fábrica, no los productos. Nos vemos entonces si algo mañana en otro video. Pásenla bien. Pasen buen día, felicidades a todos, mucha suerte y bendiciones. Chao.